In 1939, Dr. Paul Kosak saw something unbelievable as he was flying over southern Peru on his way to study the ancient civilization. It was not one, but hundreds of geoglyphs in the soil of the Nazca Desert, made by the ancient Nazca people. The geoglyphs remained as visible as they were 2,000 years ago. The number of geoglyphs reached 500. If combined with the number of now washed away geoglyphs, the number exceeds 1,000. These geoglyphs are called the Nazca lines and were designated as one of the 7 wonders of the world. We can boil down this mystery into 3 broad categories. First, technology. The Nazca Desert has such a barren environment, to the point where it is called the driest land on Earth. Scholars have stated that this climate could have maintained the Nazca lines for a long time. However, no matter how we think of it, it is difficult to grasp how the geoglyphs made with the technology at the time could last for thousands of years. Even if there is no rain here, natural disasters such as earthquakes and typhoons still exist. Some scholars have argued that the Nazca lines were made with an ancient technology that is now unidentifiable. Such advanced technology enables them to survive natural phenomena for thousands of years. However, as time passed, the traces of the technology have disappeared, and only the drawings remain. Second, production. The Nazca lines are extremely elaborate and systematic, making it difficult to believe that they were simply drawn on the ground without any help from above. A German-born Peruvian archaeologist who devoted her life to the study of the Nazca lines, Dr. Maria Reiche, claimed that the ancient Nazca people built hot air balloon-like aircraft to supervise the production of the geoglyphs from the sky. The first hot air balloon was developed in 1783 by French inventors, the Montgolfier brothers. This means the Nazca people had developed their own hot air balloon and actually made it usable around 1,000 years prior. Surprisingly, Nazca fabrics unearthed nearby were found to have materials and elasticity similar to those of a modern parachute. There was also controversy as traces of an actual hot air balloon were discovered around the geoglyphs. Third, purpose. The Nazca lines are so massive that it is impossible to see the entirety of them on the ground with the naked eye. We have to look down from the sky to see the shapes. Now, why would the Nazca people draw things that could only be seen from above? There are various hypotheses, ranging from the realistic ones, such as the geoglyphs having religious meanings, rivalry between tribes, and rain rituals, to conspiracy theories about ancient aliens. The alien conspiracy theories, once considered absurd and nonsensical, were examined in a new light once bizarre remains were discovered in 2017. Many people have said that the Nazca lines are living proof of a super ancient civilization. However, skeptics dismissed the super ancient civilization theory, saying that it was just not the case. In January 2017, an unidentified mummy was unearthed in the same area as the Nazca lines. The mummy from the newly discovered cave was unearthed by tomb raiders and was immediately handed over to the black market. After hearing rumors about a strange mummy being sold on the Peruvian black market, French archaeologist Thierry Yami decided to buy said mummy from the tomb raiders. The mummy had an extremely shocking appearance. Long and thin hair, only 3 fingers and toes, and extremely large eyes. The fingers and toes were extremely long, with a total of 6 joints. Also, unlike the usual mummies, the body was covered with some sort of white substance. Yamin proceeded to report the mummy to the Peruvian government. In response, they collected the mummy, naming it Maria. Maria was then relocated to the Inca Research Institute in Cuzco for an in-depth analysis. Maria is a fake mummy made of plaster. Well-known British UFO expert Nigel Watson claimed that Maria was a hoax, and that it was easy to tell that the mummy was sloppily created by simply looking at photos of it. And of course, from the ridiculous appearance, the public had also expected that Maria would be either an ordinary plaster figure or a fake mummy. However, the analysis results said otherwise. According to X-rays, CT scans, MRI analysis, as well as radiocarbon dating results, Maria was actually an ancient mummy, buried around the 5th or 6th centuries BC. The white substance covering the body was revealed to be some sort of diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth is a type of soil that is piled up due to the death of diatoms, a single-celled organism. Aside from being extremely absorbent, diatoms also possess an insecticidal effect, to the point where they are called the non-toxic natural desiccant. Scholars stated that the nature of diatomaceous earth is what allowed Maria to be preserved in such an excellent condition. It is said that, unlike the usual mummies, Maria's organs were not removed, and even some parts of her brain remained dry. Of course, the barren environment of the Nazca Desert helped greatly in preserving Maria as well. It is said that Maria does not have ears, and that she must have had long and sharp fangs. She had fewer vertebrae than humans. The shape of her heel bone, as well as the structure of her skull, were also very different from that of an average person. The most unique part of her would be the hands. Her flat fingertips looked like some sort of pad, with a 90-degree downward angle. And unlike humans, she had horizontal-shaped fingerprints. Dr. Mary Jessie from the University of Colorado stated that how Maria's hands were used may have been different as well. It is presumed that rather than grasping something with her fingers, she would instead use her fingers to wrap around the object before lifting it. This means her hands would have been much stronger than those of humans. Another thing that is unique is the non-existence of genitals. This means Maria's gender could not be identified, but the structure of the pelvis showed a high probability of Maria being a woman. It was revealed that her expected age range is in the early 30s to late 40s. Raimundo Salas, a radiologist with 35 years of experience, examined Maria and claimed that she was a 100% natural mummy. He stated that there were no traces of fabrication, amputation, or alterations on her body. However, despite such an announcement, controversy over Maria's authenticity continued. Maria is a mummy that was maliciously made using human remains. It is both an extremely terrible crime and an insult to archaeology. This was the statement made by Peruvian archaeologists from the Academia Nacional de Ciencias at a conference. They said that even experts from all over the world were deceived by the excellent fabrication. Consequently, scholars who were examining Maria immediately refuted the statement. They stated that according to the experiments performed on Maria, biomechanically there was no room for any sort of distortion, and if Maria was actually fabricated, the one who made her would have been God himself. Then, one day, a scholar named Steve Mera volunteered to re-examine Maria. A famous skeptic, he refused to believe that Maria was an alien. He personally went all the way to Peru to dig up the evidence. Mera re-performed genetic tests 3 times, including various radiology tests. He stated that as a skeptic, he would only deliver the truth, and so the tests were performed from an objective standpoint. The results showed that Maria's genes were 98.5% identical to that of Homo sapiens, but the remaining 1.5% did not match any living thing on Earth. Apes are the animals with the most similar DNA to humans, with a general similarity of 96% to 98%. Even with a 2% error, the differences in aspects such as appearance and intelligence are extremely evident. With this, we can conclude that Maria is not a human, considering that her DNA does not 100% match that of a human. Mera revealed that Maria was a hybrid of a human and another species, or simply put, a mixed species. Even after performing further research, Mera could not solve the secret of the remaining 1.5%. I am not concluding that this is an alien. However, it is possible that this was a new generation of human being that actually existed in the distant past, or perhaps a new generation of human being that briefly appeared in ancient times before disappearing. Maria is still being studied to this day. The Nazca lines from the distant past, and the recently unearthed mysterious mummy, Maria. How are these two related? This has been Strange Night.